Hello everyone. Okay, so in this video we'll learn about how to import our data into Power BI. So I have just opened the Power BI and you see there is a pop-up. There you see there is a get data. So I can click over it. When I click over it, it will show me some sources of data from where I can get my data. Yep. So from here, that button diverted me to this screen and I can get data from these data sources, but I'm going to close it. The other way is in the home tab the ribbon contain a get data functionality. We will simply click over it and click on Excel and then click on the data sheet and then open it. So it is loading and you see uh, there is a Excel superstore data. This is the name of the Excel sheet and Excel workbook, and there is a sheet. The name of that sheet is orders. So when I click select it, the two button just enable. There is one load and then transform data. So we need to, in real life the data is not in the clean form, we have to clean it, we have to transform it. So therefore I will click on transform data. Yeah. So here another window open. As we previously discussed, this window is Power Query Editor. So this is a very powerful functionality of Power BI. Here we perform all the ETL activities. We extract our data. We can also extract data like here we can click on new source and get that data from Excel workbook or another database or data source. So and whatever step we perform, it is being recorded in this applied step sections. Like if I close it, so yeah, when I connected the data with Power BI, the Power Query applied the step that there is a source, there is a order source. Then I click over it and it navigated me to the order source. And when that step being performed in Power BI, you see our data header is row ID, order date, ship date is in a row. So Power BI auto, you can say, get the hint that the first row is basically your header row. So it also promoted the first row as a header automatically without doing anything from our side. And you see there's something ABC 123 with every column. So basically this data, this point will show what the type of that column is. So it what Power BI do in the background, it get the profiling of every column, first 1000 rows, and try to understand what kind of data that column is storing. So if I go into change type, which is step applied by Power BI, you see that there is some change. There is from ABC 123 is it is now 123 and this ABC, and there is a calendar. So basically what it 123 ABC and calendar is, 123 is basically a whole number type. So Power BI get the hint that all the column, all the data in this column is a whole number, and all the data in the order ID column is a text field. Okay, and all the data in the order date is basically a calendar, is a date field. So it auto updated the column type. We can also change it, like in row ID. I know that row ID is representing 123, but it is not something we are going to apply aggregation on. So I'll just click over it and make it into a text field. Okay, so there are two things. I can replace my current step or I will add new step. I will add new step to demonstrate a functionality here. When I click on add new step, you see there is a line edit change type 1, and when I click on and your row ID is basically converted to ABC. So what if I want to see what was the previous step? I just click over the previous step. You see there's 1 2 3, and this is the step. So whenever we apply any step, Power Query record it and store it, and we want to if we want to undo that step, we just need to click on that cross button. If I click on that cross button, it reverted back to row ID 1 2 3. So first I will change into text and then replace current. There are multiple columns. Now we need to check one by one and identify whether the column type assigned by Power BI to my columns are okay or not. So order ID is just text field, okay, because we don't have to perform any aggregation function on order ID. Order date is a date column. Ship date is a date column. Ship mode is a text field, which is okay. Customer ID, customer name, segment, country, city, state, all text fields, it is fine. Yep. Postal code is 123. As we know that postal code is basically a location identifier, so we don't need to aggregate it. So we also need to change this column type into text. Okay, so for this type I will click on replace current. So you see when I click on replace current, contrary to add step functionality, no field added here. The reason is that because on the back end there is a mQuery code is running, so the mQuery code basically run on the previous step. So my previous step, if I added a new step, the previous step was the change type field. Here you can see. So what he did, it changed that postal code field into the same code that it was running behind the scene. You see there is a postal code and it changes type to text here. So now region is ABC, a text field, product ID is text field, category is a text field, subcategory is a text field, product name, sale. Okay, sale is basically a decimal because there is decimal involved, so Power Query also pick it up and may mark is a decimal column. Quantity is okay, whole number, discount decimal, profit is a decimal. So for discount, basically discount is a percentage. You see 0.45, 0.2, it's basically a percentage, so we need to change it. I just click here, I'll click as a percentage and I will click on replace current. So yeah, so as we change our data type, data fields, we see all the changes have been reflected in our M code. We have changed the postal code here, we have changed the row ID which is here, and we also changed the discount which is a percentage type. So it all reflected here. So now we also explore some other functionality, like you see there is some transform and some add column. So what transform and add column do? If I go into transform data, there is some formatting option, like if I want to create all my ship mode into uppercase, I just click over it and click on uppercase, so it change all my text into uppercase. If I want to it's in a proper capitalize each word, it will give me a proper. So you see whatever step I am performing, that data is being recorded here. So first I created an uppercase text, then I created a capitalized each word, so my steps being recorded here. I'll just delete it. The same functionality is available in add column. When I go into add column, I click on format and I click on uppercase. So you see what it did? It just created a copy of that column and apply the desired filtration into that column. And now I have two column. One I have ship mode and other I have uppercase, which I can also change the name uppercase ship mode. So basically in add column we can also do transformation, and in whatever column we are going to do transformation, Power Query will make a copy of it and do the transformation in that copied column. So I'll delete it because we don't need it in our Power BI.